Hi, it's Phoenix, and I would like to read a chapter from my book, Silent Noise, called The Dreamscape. And there's not really much I have to say about it, just for the fact that I feel like no matter how hard it is, and no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much we may fail, I believe it's always worth it in the end to chase our dreams. And I think that it's hard to keep that in mind sometimes when we live in the determinist grit, so to speak. But I think it's worth it to follow your dreams regardless, no matter how hard it is, and to make your blood, sweat, and tears worth it. It's interesting because I saw, it was a photograph of graffiti art, and someone had spray painted the words, "Follow your dreams," and someone spray painted over that in red, "Cancelled." And I think that's really interesting because that's kind of the status quo, and that's what people want to encourage you to do, or can at least, because I don't want to overgeneralize about the way that anybody is. But I feel like sometimes society wants you to fail, and that's why, like the phoenix, you have to continue to rise up from the ashes and do your best. So without further ado, I'm going to read from the chapter called The Dreamscape. As I continue to walk through existence, I pass a park, and suddenly my eyes become in conflict with my reason. I see a young kid, about my age, maybe even exactly my age, with paintbrushes and canvas after canvas and paint, all surrounding him on a grass field, with a ton of paintings, all of them very bright colors. I can tell this kid is a true artist. I can tell he's got a lot going for him. However, I'm afraid to approach him. He is intently painting another work, going extremely fast, and I don't want to bother him. There's something so focused about the way that he does everything that it's simultaneously spellbinding but haunting. However, I go to him anyway and sit down a little ways away from him. He looks up, startled. He doesn't say anything, so I sign, "Can you read sign?" The kid, who had looked intense from that point before, now looks calm. "Yeah," I sign. "I lost my hearing when I was 3. Suddenly my world becomes a surrealist dreamscape. It's cool running into a few people, out of the millions I've passed since on my journey, that speak sign language. But to meet someone who has the same thing as me, that's even cooler. "What's your name?" I ask him. "The Dreamer," says the kid. "What about you?" "Micah," I say. "Nice to meet you," the Dreamer says, and he gets up and shakes my hand. I notice that he has colors splattered all across his hands, his arms, his legs, which are in shorts, and of course, on his clothes. But he doesn't seem to mind. It in fact attenuates his features, makes him look happier. It's cool because some of the splotches have unwittingly made shapes. So for instance, on his face, he somehow splotched a painting of a small school. It's pretty cool. There are other shapes and figures as well on his body amidst all of the splash paint. "The Dreamer," I sign. "That's such a cool name. Thank you. So what are you working on?" "I paint, as you can probably see," my friend says and smiles. "But I've been working specifically on mastering my own brand of surrealism. Literature, surrealist literature, has changed throughout the ages, ranging from the works of Kafka to Borges to Jonathan Foer. Ironically, they've been fueling my imagination more than actual surrealist artworks. I think surrealism is cool, and for a lot of reasons. As you can tell, I'm doing the automatic writing thing, except in my case, it's automatic painting. That's why my hand is moving so fast, because I'm so determined to tap my unconscious mind, let my mind be free." "That's interesting," I say. "So you've churned these works out in less than an hour, I imagine?" The Dreamer nods. "In less, I'd say, though I don't know the exact time. But painting is easy for me, especially when my mode isn't as original as I'd like it to be." "Your works look original to me," I sign, looking at one painting. "Just because you use an established mode doesn't mean you're conforming. Established techniques don't make a plagiarist painter." "Good point," the Dreamer signs. "I like surrealist writing as well," I sign. My absolute favorite, would be the poet Cesar Vallejo. I think that his poetry book, Trilce, is one of the finest books to be written in the 20th century, more important than Stein's Tenor Buttons even. I love the Latin American surrealists in general, like Marquez and the painter Frida Kahlo. They rock my world. "Yeah, they're awesome." Bruno Schultz is also pretty awesome. I'm sure you've read him, I sign. Yeah, he's amazing as well. He's weird. I practice surrealist poetry myself. Did you want to see some? Yeah, that'd be awesome. And then maybe I can check out some of your artwork, I sign hopefully. Of course, I'd be happy to show you my work. Alright, sounds good. This poem is called The Defender. Parse, split, cut apart, hell's pit, and splice it with the slice of the devil's tongue, for a journey beyond the outer reaches of space, to cut up the sun as if it's as fragile as the forbidden fruit, and bring in the defender. Who is the defender, you might ask, in this cosmological battle? There is no defender. We're all alone, with nothing to guide us, with nothing to show us, teach us, except for the fire that licks at our feet constantly, with nothing but the heart of God beating in our palm like a labyrinthine drum, defended by our own nightmares, torn apart before us by agony, as if entrenched in a white hole, swallowing a star, swallowing a black hole, the defender, never to exist, never to block, holding the heavens in our brain like a hallucinogen, with nothing to guide us or teach us in the epic battle of good and evil. When I finish my poem, the dreamer applauds me. That's so cool, he says. That's cooler than anything I've encountered in a while. The whole poem is like a nightmarish dreamscape to me. It's crazy. God is not being our defender. Pretty bold claim. Well, my poems can be aggressive sometimes, I sign jokingly, but not to worry. I have a poem called God's Head that's equally surrealist but affirms a deep faith. Still pretty cool stuff. Now, I'm dying to look at your artwork. Can I look? Of course, man. I look around and see that there must be at least 20 different paintings there. I look at all of them slowly, amazed that he accomplished this in such a short time, and also taking my time with looking at the paintings as if I'm in an art museum. I linger over all of them, but two pieces catch me by surprise the most with their cool surrealist method. The first painting depicts a slime monster, an ugly green, more toxic than acid, with fire surrounding him. I realize that the monster is screaming, as if they are in the fires of hell. Around the fire and around the slime monster are eyes, a whole bunch of eyes by themselves, staring off in many different directions. The second one is less intense in terms of its creepy horror effect, but it, to me, captures what surrealism can really do. At the top, it has a picture of the sun, but the sun is black like coal. Below are kids playing soccer, except they are playing with a ball made out of water, which somehow stays solid as they kick it. The field is made out of red grass, and even though the sun is black, light is coming from the kids who are playing soccer. What's this piece called, I ask. The soccer game from within, the dreamer says. I like this one the most. Can I buy it from you? The dreamer laughs. I wouldn't sell my art to a friend. That would be an insult to my friend and a slap in the face to my business ethics. I'm not in it to make money, not one bit. You can take it with you, have it for free. The real reason why I want the painting isn't for me. It's so I can actually slip it into a museum somewhere, illegally, and let people admire it, though I don't want to tell the dreamer, because I would want it to be a surprise, when people discover a beautiful painting and they are suddenly clamoring after the dreamer. Here, the dreamer says, picking up the painting and handing it to me, you take it. I grab the painting gently, and right when I grab it, the painting begins to shake, like it's convulsing or having a seizure, and I watch as the colors of the painting begin to fly out of the painting and touch everything around us. This process lasts forever, but when I look around, I become increasingly thankful that I can still see. I feel like I have been transported to a dreamscape, because what I see is those kids playing soccer with the water soccer ball. I see the sun painted black, but light coming from our bodies. I see that all the grass is red. Essentially, the painting has become reality. What did you do? The dreamer asked, but not with any apparent fear, just curiosity. I'm not sure what I did, I admit. I think it's the power of your surrealist vision. This painting has become a reality. It has become our reality. I have to admit, that's pretty dope, the dreamer signs, and he smiles deeply, a deeply infectious smile that I can't help but adopt as my own. We smile for a while and continue to talk about surrealist poetry. So what is it you like about this surrealist Cesar Vallejo? The dreamer asks me as we watch the kids play soccer on the red grass with the water soccer ball. I take my time to answer, then say, I don't know. I guess with Vallejo, I can really tell that he dug the style of automatic writing. I couldn't really say why else, though I think that his automatic writing helped him come up with some of the coolest new words ever. I've read the original Spanish of the poems in Trilce, even though my Spanish is atrocious, but he elevates surrealism to poetry, which I think is hard to do. That's cool, the dreamer says. So is it honestly easy doing these art pieces, I ask. Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's easy to juxtapose weird images and stuff. I get a lot of them, that's for sure. I think back on the art collection I'd seen, having a firm picture of each one in my mind. I start thinking of a third painting, which depicts a burning star that's multiple colors. and surrounded by stars that are actually basketballs, and all of this in space. I realized that I liked that one as well. I had set the painting that the dreamer gave me beside me, but I pick it up again and take a good look at it. I decide to divulge my plans anyway to the dreamer. The dreamer only smiles. They won't take it, he signs. Not if I slip it in, I sign determinedly. If you slip it in, they'll be forced to look at it, the curators in public, and they'll fall in love with it immediately. Maybe, the dreamer signs, and I sense some hope. We'll just have to see. I'm honored you want to do that. Well, you have a lot of talent. Surrealism is my favorite art movement. In my opinion, I haven't mastered the form at all because I don't have a classical surrealist bent, but I do my best. A classical surrealist bent? I just think it would insinuate some of the cool vintage qualities of surrealism, the dreamer explains. I like the older style of surrealism because it's so futuristic, and yet it's locked in time. I want to explore that more when I go back to painting. I think about this, find it an interesting idea. He sees himself as inferior to the surrealists because he doesn't imitate them properly. It makes me wonder if I'm a bad poet because I don't imitate my favorite poets completely successfully. I continue to sign with my friend and watch the kids play soccer, and then that's when I decide I should probably get going. But I shake my friend's hand, sign to him that I'm honored to meet the dreamer, a painter of extraordinary ability, who created an amazing dreamscape. I tell him that he should call his first exhibit the Dreamscape, in fact. That's a good idea, he tells me. I like that. I smile, he smiles back, and we get lost in the dreamscape, as if getting lost in the powerful journey of dreams, the powerful journey of escape, and nothing is as it seems, because everything is as it doesn't seem. So, thank you for letting me share that, and as always, follow your dreams and follow your heart, no matter what anybody says. And yeah, thank you for your time.